Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are cookies, but we're going to make chocolate coconut cookies. And it is a good one. And it's relatively, again, very easy to make. And I like easy recipes. I always say it time and time again, but I want them to be also very tasty and good. But with many people with not a lot of time with work and family and everything, when you do want to bake, you don't want to spend hours and hours in the kitchen either. So you want something quick, but you want something good that people are going to enjoy to eat. So let's start off first in telling you that I'm sorry I will not have the recipe below the video. So again, I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to try to go through clearly enough and slowly enough that if you're interested in making this recipe, you can jot down the directions and the ingredients, okay? First, let's start off with 1 cup of butter. I went ahead, I cut it up into small pieces, and I've had it at room temperature. So you want to break it up and you want to cream it. Now, you can use your hand mixer for this, but again, I tend to always use my stand-up because it's quicker for the video so that I'm not keeping you too long in the video, moves things quickly. So let's cream this, let's break it up, but I'm going to warn you about the sound of my mixer because it can be loud. Okay, and of course I would spend a bit more time than that, you know, creaming it, but again, I'm moving it along. The next thing that you're going to put in is 1½ cups of granulated sugar. You're going to put that in with the 1 cup of butter. And again, I'm going to raise my speed. Going to beat it just for a little bit longer. Now you of course are going to take your time and spend that 2 or that 3 minutes to cream it and make it so it looks very light, very fluffy and yellow in color. The next thing that you're going to do is put in 2 eggs. I've had them at room temperature, and I'm just going to beat 1 in at a time. And again, you'll be beating at probably a medium speed, and again, till everything's combined. The next thing you're going to put in is 1 teaspoon of vanilla and beat that in. Okay, and I just want to clean the sides here and get to the bottom where it tends to stick. Okay. And I'm just going to turn it on for another couple seconds. So again, remind you about the sound. Okay. You'll want that quite creamy and quite light. So, you know, don't skimp on the time that it takes you to, you know, beat that in, mix that in. Now let's work on our dry ingredients. What you're going to need is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, which I have in this bowl, and you're going to put 2/3 of unsweetened baking cocoa, okay? It's unsweetened. And then with my whisk, I'm just going to, you know, combine it a little bit here. I could have used a little bit bigger bowl. All right. The next thing that you're going to be putting in is 2 teaspoons, 2 of baking powder. And I'll give that a little mix here. Okay. And you're also going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. That was 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And you're also going to be putting in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right. And we'll just stir that in a little bit here. Okay. And then we're going to slowly add the dry to the wet till it makes a cookie dough. A little at a time, because you know you don't want this to go all over your kitchen. And take your time. You'll probably be using a slower speed than I just did. When I like to turn it up, because it starts to make the cookie dough ball, and it actually cleans the sides of the mixing bowl with all the ingredients. Okay, now the last thing that you're going to put in is your coconut. Use 3/4 of a cup. I'm using sweetened flaked coconut. You, of course, if you wanted to use, unsweetened, do so. And I'm not going to really beat it in, but I want to stir it in because it's just much easier than me mixing it by hand, okay? And being my hand is still in a brace from a cast, it's easier, much easier for me to do that. But you go ahead and, if you want, to blend that coconut with your spatula or your wooden spoon, that type of thing. And I'm just trying to take off some of the excess off my beater. Okay. And we'll try to set that aside. And then I'm just going to clean the sides of my mixing bowl, get to the bottom, give it, a little good stir, and then I'll show you what the cookie dough looks like. Okay, just give it a good stir. Oh, it smells so good, so rich, the chocolate. It is a sticky type batter. It's not real dense. In fact, once you see when they're baked up, oh, they are so light and so airy and delicate. But there you have it. All right, so we're going to set that aside. And we're going to need, of course, our cookie tray or pan. Now, you don't have to spray it or oil it. You can use your parchment if you prefer, or your Teflon mats, feel free. I'm not doing that today myself. I'm just using the pan on its own. And you can use your cookies to make them by your teaspoon or your tablespoon. I like to use the larger one. I hope that maybe you could see that, if I'm holding that correctly for you to see. I like a little bit bigger of a cookie. They will spread upon baking. And I will tell you that I got with this scoop, oh boy, I think I got roughly about 50 cookies out of it, okay? Which I thought was really, you know, quite phenomenal, really. 45, 50. I hate to say exact numbers because, you know, you might make them a little bigger, a little bit smaller, that kind of thing, you know. And then I just, you know, of course, level off one scoop, about like that. And they are going to spread a little bit, so, you know, give them a couple inches apart, and you know, put them on your baking tray or baking sheet, okay? So you don't want them too close together. Now, you're going to bake them at 350 degrees, and they could take you anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. I will tell you though, I don't particularly like these cookies baked too long because they become more dry or a hard type cookie. Now, if you do like, you know, more of a crisp or a hard type cookie, then, you know, you as you bake, you'll learn along how you really like these cookies. I really like them between even 6-7 minutes because it's a very chewy, moist cookie, and when they're too dry, I think you miss the flavor, especially the coconut in them. So do check them. Rotate your cookie sheets while they're in the oven, or cookie trays, that kind of thing. And I actually check mine after I do my first rotation after 5 minutes. I do a rotation of trays and I'll be able to see them. And like I said, sometimes you know, they're perfectly done in 7 or 8 minutes. So, you know, all our ovens set up differently. So I don't want to go on too much on that because you know your oven, okay? And so, but just a warning. Now I'm going to wash my hands here quickly, because I'm, you know, I'm handling raw cookie dough. So let me grab a clean towel and I am going to grab a clean glove, a new glove. I've gotten accustomed to wearing these disposable gloves a lot. With my hand being in a cast for so many weeks, they really have come in handy for baking and cooking and that kind of thing. Okay, so let's show you what they look like once they're baked up, and this is how they turn out. They really are a beautiful looking cookie, and you can see the size that I get from that. They'll have a nice, just a brown bottom, the same color as the top, unless you know, bake them longer. Watch, because when you start to see them turn really dark on the bottom, they're really gone too far. And then I think they're going to be very hard, you know, to bite into and that kind of thing. So it will have a hard surface on the bottom, and it will have a semi-soft on the top. Now it will have, you know, different, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the word, but you know, it'll not be perfect on the top. It'll have like crinkles in it, or little slits on it. That's okay. And when you break open the cookie, it is so rich. It's almost like biting into some fudge in a way. They're very moist. I don't know if you're going to be able to see as I squeeze the cookie together like that, where the two pieces have become one. They're so light, they're so chewy and moist, and then you get that wonderful flavor of that chocolate and then the coconut. Oh, these are really great cookies. And like I said, they're pretty easy to make, and I had a lot of fun making them, and then my guests have really liked them too. So if you try this recipe and you liked it, leave a comment because I'd like to hear from you. But I'd like to also tell you that I no longer put my recipes below due to so many people, and I'm not alone on it, that's for sure, taking my work, posting it, pinning it, calling it theirs. So when you write to me and I see it on a different site or whatever, it's so frustrating. So please solely watch me if you're kind enough to do so on YouTube, because that's the only place I put my videos on. So when you write to me, I'm gonna get your question, I'm gonna get your comment, and I will answer you in a timely fashion, okay? So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe to the channel, boy, I can't thank you enough for that. Or give it a like. Boy, thanks again. So thanks for watching. Try these chocolate coconut cookies. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.